sell stock that then brings in cash to their company, right? So they can put more cash away, which over time is good for the company, but for the short term, it's not good for the stock price. But when you have millions of shares getting sold, the stock will end up falling. So that was the problem yesterday. I missed that. So it happened a little bit after open, but you can see that the stock price fell right off the open. So that's kind of why that trade didn't work, unfortunately. So, it is what it is, but we'll look around for other things. So DJT is going to be off my watch now. We're down under 40, around 36, 37. So that's kind of just done. It was fun while it lasted, but yesterday it just didn't trade well at all. So Tesla, this is up a little bit here pre-market from close, about $2, $3. Again, I'm not going to be interested down here. I don't want to play the downside, maybe around yesterday's low. This can have a breakthrough 250. But again, not really thrilled with what I'm seeing on that. So if we do get back up to 265, that's kind of where I'd look at it. And then obviously we have that 271 high here that would look to play around 270. Okay. So other than that, I don't care what Tesla does. If it wants to go sideways or it wants to go in circles, it doesn't really matter to me. Maybe around 250, I'd be interested if the market's really weak. If the market's not weak, I don't really care. I'll just let it do its thing. But back up here, I'd be interested. Retail sales came out this morning. That did pop up Amazon a little bit. I don't think that's enough to get this thing really going here. But you can tell, for Amazon to be up about $2 pre-market, that's a pretty decent move for Amazon. Prime Day did start today. It goes for today and tomorrow. So if anyone wants to do some shopping, Prime Day is going on. A bunch of deals there. They only do it twice a year, so don't miss out on it if you need to get gifts or you want some new things. Morning, Chris. So I don't know. Above like 196, 196.50, this might start making its way back up. That swing trade that I wanted to do again for this Prime Day stuff is just kind of not intact anymore because Prime Day has already started. Typically, you want to see this run up into Prime Day. And when the market sold off really, really hard on Thursday, this just never ended up bouncing, after the fact. So all good there. Not really interested in that. Again, I'll pay attention to it around 196, 196.50, if that's really moving. Other than that, don't really care. NVIDIA fell back yesterday. We're right in the middle of all this just chop here. So instantly that makes me not interested in it. So maybe back up here around 132 or around lows 126 down through 125. But, if you look back here, look at these, got some notes here. 1 second. Let me get these off my screen here. For you guys going to Trader's Paradise, I got a bunch of screenshots and notes for y'all. Anyways, so even back under 125, we're just still sitting like in this zone. So I'm not super interested in playing it around here. There might be a little 125 break that we could trade to the downside, but it's not an A+ setup by any means. But you can kind of see what we have forming here, right? If this ends up bouncing and kind of coming back up in here, 135, 133, holds for a few days, this might be a new swing back to all-time highs, okay? So ideally, I don't want to see this give up 125. I would like to see it kind of bounce either today or tomorrow, get back up in this area here. If we can hold there, again, like I said, that's kind of where we can get that move back to 140 and then maybe into 150, 160 if this wants to keep ripping. Next, Apple is one of the strongest ones here. We just aren't stopping. We hit a new all-time high yesterday, 237.23. We're opening up around 235. So, if this does want to show some strength on its own, I'd consider trading it. But as you can tell, we just opened, we ripped, we came all the way back down, and we just kind of went flat. So it'll be very easy to tell if this is ready to go. I'll set my alerts and stuff. But after about 30 minutes, if Apple doesn't do anything, it's typically I'll just move on from it because I want to see it. I want to see that move happen in the first 30 minutes. where all the volume is, and Apple can actually move pretty fast because I don't want to be in a trade for 2 hours to make 50 cents on a stock. You know what I mean? Especially with options. What else is going on here? So, I mean, you're kind of getting the gist here that there's nothing setting up that well. So we're just going to have to wait for things to open up and see where they go. Microsoft came back into 450. We got an all-time high around 470. So, could this be a bounce area? Yes. Does that mean I'm going to be buying calls for a couple weeks out? No. I think that this has the most. There's a lot of potential here for this to bounce to go back to highs, but I'm not really wanting to take that trade. So basically just going to wait for this to get back up in here. Other than that, don't really care what it does, right? It's not really on my watch list. What else? Meta is still sitting around 500. I think this is a pretty good bounce spot. But you could tell that these things are really, really strong. And that one day when the market sold off after CPI, they just really haven't recovered. So at one point, I do think they can, but I'm not going to be the guy trying to pick a bottom. If I do want to enter down here on some sort of like upside swing trade, I'd have to be in very, very light, right? I don't want to be in too heavy and this thing ends up coming down another $10 and then you're just trying to buy more, then you're in with way too much. And then maybe it goes stagnant, your options lose value over time and all that. So we do have earnings coming up soon. So maybe these stocks, ideally I want to see them kind of run up into earnings. So maybe toward the end of the week and then into next week, we might get some life back in these. But, or maybe they just go stagnant into earnings. A lot of them are at all-time highs, pretty pivotal spots for them coming into earnings season. So earnings is slowly starting this week. We do have Netflix on Thursday, which is interesting. There was a trade that I was waiting on here for this. And then it got basically just ruined because of that one sell-off day, right? This broke out, was holding up really close to all-time high at 700. And then we had that one day where it just pulled it down 50 points. And so now I don't know that you're going to see a run-up on this in 2 days. Could it? Sure. But I just don't know that I see that as a potential trade. So probably just going to wait for that until after earnings. If this gaps up above 700, then this is going to be breaking out, right? For anyone that doesn't know, Netflix's all-time high is 700. So let me go back a little bit further here. Let's go like 10 years. So, right, a huge run up to 700, and we went from 700 to $160. And now we're all the way back to 700. So pretty crazy move on this in the last 2 years. So, this is obviously a pretty strong move, but could it come all the way back down? Sure. Right. It all depends on what Netflix does. So I think they've done a lot of things. I mean, the new news on that is they're trying to do Christmas and Thanksgiving football games. So if they end up doing that, then I think that'd be pretty good for the company. But a lot of the streaming rights are locked up until 2030. So it'd be another 5 years until it's actually put into play. So I don't know that that's substantial for, the short term. They have cracked down on the password sharing stuff. For y'all that have Netflix, you probably know that. So more people had to buy and subscribe to Netflix. And that's a big reason why this is kind of back up near all-time highs. So not really a trade there either. Amazon, like I said, is up. I already talked about that. Maybe above like 196.50. I'd be interested. This is really moving though here. Look at this. Into the open. So right now, this probably is what I'm going to be watching here. Just because there's no off the open setups that I like. So for now, I don't, I guess I can load up some calls on this. I'll probably go. I guess all they have is 197.50s. So I'll go 197.50s. I mean, even the 200 calls would be okay. But I'm just going to load up the 197.50 calls just to see what happens here. Other than that, I'm just going to have to gauge everything else, see what they do. Either they fall or push up or go sideways. There's just no A+ setups right now off the open. So no one should be nervous or antsy for anything right now. Let's just let the market open and, mess around for the first 5-10 minutes and see what's going on. So, any other tickers or questions or trade ideas you guys want me to cover real quick? I mean, that's pretty much it. Um, Bitcoin is up decently, so maybe there's something there on coin. Let me look at that real quick. I mean, nothing right now. I think closer to like 260 is kind of where I'd start considering it for a move back higher, but that all depends on Bitcoin. Cat, okay. Gapping up here a little bit. I mean, what I would instantly do is draw this downtrend here, which we're now breaking. So I mean, yeah, this looks like it might be ready to go, like through 350. If it's something that I'm typically trading, no, I don't really trade industrial stocks, but I think this does look pretty good for a long. We got about 1 minute here till the open. Datadog. What indicators? I only use VWAP, and that's it. I wouldn't, you don't need all the other crazy indicators like RSI, MACD, blah, blah, blah. I used to use those in my beginning stages, but over time you realize you just don't need them. You need a simple chart, right? Just price action and volume. And I use VWAP just because personal preference. Datadog. Yeah. So, I mean, to me, this looks pretty good as well. I mean, if it can get back above 135, that's kind of where I'd start being interested in it. So, for right now, I don't think there's any reason to buy it ahead of this. But, we do have earnings coming up early August. So maybe this ends up starting to run up. But I'm going to set alerts here on 132.5. And then, if this gets to 135, that might be a swing in the all-time high here. I'm guessing that's all-time high. I know it's not. But at least, I mean, this setup doesn't look terrible, right? We're kind of doing the same thing, right? We're breaking a downtrend, broke it, retesting it. So this actually may be a decent buy spot. I don't know. But other than that, not super interested today unless that really starts moving here. So let's watch Amazon here. Instantly dropping off. Nvidia dropping off, Meta dropping off. SMCI, don't really love that. Amazon trying to hold this 195 level. You want to see buyers hold that. If they can instantly bring this down, it might just start selling off. Nice, Geo. I think that's a smart thing to do for now. Anytime I'm in a swing and it's not working out, I'll just get out of it because I can always day trade it, right? That's also why I want to be in really light, right? So it's not a substantial position. I'm pretty much just kind of picking up a couple extra dollars on top of me day trading things. So Amazon bouncing here. Maybe this ends up going today. I don't know. Retail sales were good and Prime Day is starting today. So that might be something that pushes the stock. Nvidia still selling off here. Tesla ripping here off the open. Up already three points. Here goes Amazon. There's no reason for me to chase this right now. It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It seems like one of the stronger ones, though, so we'll see what happens. If it can get above 196 and kind of start holding, and then maybe get going, maybe this has a chance. I don't know. 196 right here. Again, I have the 197.50 calls loaded up just in case I do want to trade this. Meta over 500. Amazon's got to get through 196, and then we'll see what it wants to do. There we go. Broke through it there. These contracts moved pretty decently right there. It is Tuesday. Maybe this is the day. I mean, on a bigger time frame, it looks like this is kind of where Amazon really needs to get going. 196.50. So this is a pretty important level here. I don't want to force this trade, right? This isn't some sort of A+ setup for me, right? But if this does come back into 196 and start holding, maybe we can play this new high up into 197. That's kind of the only thing I'm seeing right now. If I do take this, it's like a super light trade. Just trying to pick up some lunch money on this. not trying to go for a big trade. Market had a big wick to the top side, starting to roll back over here. Amazon is prone to pushing up right now, then selling off extremely hard. So I don't want to just try to jump the gun on this. Look at that, right back under 196. This thing is getting killed. Let's see if they can buy this up or not. I'm not just going to buy in a pullback for no reason. The market's rolling over really hard. Back at VWAP here, 195.5. So it looks like buyers are trying to hold this up here. They're rejecting it right off the original high a day, right at 195.60. That was pretty good. Market ended up bouncing as well. Market's starting to push. Amazon's going nowhere. Tesla rolled all the way back over. Nvidia not doing anything. Meta's doing okay. This isn't a bad spot to try Amazon, but like again, this just isn't really like a real like solid trade. Got right back above 196. You know, it kind of broke and retested that. Trying to push back for high a day. I mean, you could try it if you want. Just looking for a quick high a day scalp, maybe up into 197. You kind of want to buy as close to 196 as you can. But if this folds right back over, I think it's probably done. It's holding pretty well, though, but the market's pushing. So this really isn't pushing on its own anymore. There's just not a lot going on for this. Let's see if they get this through high a day. You kind of want to see what it does through high a day. Still holding it right here. Still holding it. Look at them pulling it right back in. Market rolled over as well. So this is pretty much just mirroring the market right now. Market selling off hard. Amazon's trying to hold up here. If I was in this trade, I'd be using under 195.60 as a stop loss here, under VWAP as well. So, you know, this could be a buy spot as well. You buy here, your stop is super tight. You know, you're prone to losing on this, but if you're in with small size, you know, you're not risking much, and then you can kind of look for a move back up. Testing under VWAP. Yeah, there it goes. So like I said, Amazon is just prone to these pops and selling off really, really hard recently. So that's a big reason why I don't really want to be chasing this. Look at that buy up, though. That's pretty nice. Back above the original high a day. Market bounce, though, too. So, I mean, it's just, again, it's not really moving on its own. It's moving with the market. This may even be a nice little short play through the low a day, 195. Market's just flat. Nothing going on here. Amazon trying to hold. Looks like they're starting to give it up here. What else? Nothing really going on elsewhere. Look at that. Straight through the low a day. So, you know, these are things that you want to start trying to notice, right? I talked about Amazon pushing and then selling off pretty quick. You know, it looked good the first like 3-4 minutes. And then these next 3-4 minutes, it just got killed. So this may end up coming way down. Google moving, okay. Yeah, Google looks pretty strong here. We got all-time highs 191.75. So, maybe right there at 190, things may get interesting. I don't know. There's not really a setup here. Like maybe when it gets up in this area, I'd be interested. But right now, yeah, Geo, so you're right on. You're right on. Let's see what Apple's doing. Tried to get up there. Now we're kind of pulling back into VWAP here. All-time high 37.23. So all-time high is not that far away for Apple. Amazon's back up. NVIDIA, pretty nice move here back to highs. This is a day where you want to see NVIDIA bounce for sure. I would like for this to close up above 130 at least, ideally around 132, 131. That'll kind of solidify a bounce here. Then maybe the next 2 days we can get up here close to 135. And then, we might break out and really get going. To me, like there's a really good setup up in this area. Okay. If we can get back up in here, this is where I want to trade it. Down in here, you're just trying to pick a bottom and you're kind of just being a little too early with it. Unless you bought a couple week out swing, maybe that works. But this could easily just roll back over. So I'd rather not be the guy just trying to force the trade and just wait for it to happen and then be there for that breakout. Tesla's selling off pretty nicely here. Amazon back to 195. Let's go to Tesla. Tesla's really starting to roll over. That was a nice little play there, right? Break, opening range break to the downside, bounces up a little bit on you, but it rejects right off VWAP and then rolls right back over. That would have been a pretty solid trade here. Let's see what the wall looks like at 250. To me, this is one of the weakest names across the board I see. So we got a little 250 wall, about 40,000, not anything crazy. So maybe if this comes down in here and then gives us a little bounce, we might be able to trade that low a day. So I'd consider that. AEON. Yeah, penny stock. It's not really a stock that I would ever trade, but yeah, that is moving really nicely here. So maybe this goes higher. Mr. SLP and Pookie's Revenge in here, Cicero. They trade stuff like this, so you may want to reach out to them. Go back to Tesla here. If this stays real weak, this might have a day where it can start selling off. So let's just wait. If it ends up bouncing, whatever, right? Because I'm not interested to the upside until like above 265. So I'm only watching downside here. Apple's trying to get back up there. I'm going to set some alerts around its high day. I have a feeling things are going to be pretty choppy. Microsoft is absolute chop central right now. Meta not really doing anything either. Let's see. What are the 250 calls priced at? Shop. Okay, one sec. 250. Sorry, 250 puts about 500 here, so it'll be about 600-700 down there. It's not terrible. Shop. What's shop doing? Little spike there off the open. Yeah. Wow, that would have been a pretty good scalp there through 68. Is there a gap up in here? Yeah, there is a gap. That actually does look pretty good. Well, the trade's already over for now, but that would have been a nice little scalp for us. It's something I would have traded for sure. You know, you got your red candle off the open, play the high a day. You catch almost $1 move on shop. That would have paid, but there's just not a lot of volume for one, and the contracts are going to move terribly. So percentage-wise, you could have made a lot, but it was also pretty hard to get filled and then get out and, you know, catch it the right way and all that kind of stuff. I can just tell by the chart it didn't move that well. So let's see if I want to see Tesla really start coming back down in here. I think this could be a decent trade. Seems pretty weak. Market's starting to roll over right now. So maybe there's something here. Let's see if this wants to keep rolling over. Market's getting real weak on this too. So if the market gets weak with this, maybe there's something here. I don't really want to see it come all the way back to 225 and then try to roll. I think I want to see it really start dying here, make its way down to 250, and then we could trade it. So let's see, because the market's selling off right now. So I want to see this really have some weakness on its own as well. And it's not. You can see it kind of holding this 53 level. I want to see it break under here. Market's bouncing now. Market had about 3 big red candles in a row, and this had 1 and then nothing. Back up to VWAP here. Maybe we reject here. I don't want to see it get back above 55 for sure. Let's see if they reject this hard or not. Here we go. That was a pretty nice rejection. Let's see if they can roll it over. Market had a pretty good topside wick as well. Going right back for low a day here. Tesla's not showing weakness on its own, though, now. I'm going to load up the 250 puts just in case I do want to trade this. Wow, Microsoft, guys. What just happened with that? Broke that low a day finally, and it got killed. Tesla's starting to struggle up in here, so I would like to see it roll over ASAP. Kind of have a little bit of an uptrend here. If they can break through 53, that's kind of where you want to see that low a day come in. Market's still weak, but Tesla's not making lows with it, which I don't like. I want to see this crack. I like how they rejected it up here, but they need to really start getting this rolled over through this 53 level so they can get it down to the low a day. If they can sell this off kind of hard on its own, it's going to make buyers move out of the way, which is what we want to see. Starting to test that trend line here a little bit. Let's see if they break it hard here. Another nice wick here to the top side. Still not aggressive, though. They're just kind of moving it down a little bit, and it's getting bought up. You want to see a nice red candle come through here like this. Market's starting to roll over again. Let's see if Tesla starts giving up. There you go. See if we can get through 53. 10 cents off, 2 cents. There we go. Beautiful. That's what you want to look for. So now we have low a day around 52. I mean, do I want to trade that? Not really. But I do think that, you know, this could be some sort of starter position here for a move lower. You want to see them break this low a day pretty hard. Let's see what they do here. See what a 2-minute chart looks like. Yeah, 2-minute chart looks still pretty good. They're kind of retesting that 53 level that they were using as support earlier. Getting it back under here. So let's see if we can get under 252. 252.80, 75, 70. They're trying. I think there might be a trade here, guys. I mean, if you want to take a starter for this low a day break, I think that's not a terrible idea. Just be light. I would use like a 53.25 stop loss, really, really tight. It's just not moving ideal here. Market's selling off. I want to see this really get going. Once these buyers move out of the way, and if this breaks low a day, this might actually really get going down here to 250. There you go. There you go. Low a day just broke right there. That was pretty nice. There it is. There it is. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's what I want to see. All right, so now I'm going to look for pretty much the same setup here, but over here. Okay, so we got our move down. Even if this trickles down a little bit further, that's okay. Let's see if they added to the wall here at 250. Not really. Okay, so 250 wall is still not huge. Market's selling off, so we got some weakness now. So I want to see them bounce this, and then we can look for another bear flag into 250. Okay, the same exact looking setup here that I'm looking for. Okay, so again, I got the 250 calls loaded up. I don't really want to see them get it much closer. I would like to see about a 70-cent little bounce there that we could trade off of. If they break it right through, I can't chase that. But if they get it close to 250, then bounce it. That's what I'm looking for. Because chances are, if they break this, they're going to reject it really, really hard at 250, just because we've moved $4 now. Let's see them bounce this. Come on. Cross your fingers. Market's starting to bounce as well, so that's good. Can't see it, son. Okay, there we go. 250.37. Come on, Tesla. Let's see a bounce here. Bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Ideally up to around 252, right? I want to see them retest that low a day that we just broke from. If we can get up in here, it's kind of where I might start taking starter positions and then look to add into it if we roll back over. This is setting up pretty well. Nice, Latvian. All right, well, then you might get this 250 break. Come on. Bounce up a little bit more. Market's starting to roll right back over, unfortunately, so they may just send this right through, and I just can't chase that. I could have been really aggressive and started buying on that pop, but I want to see this take a little bit of time here and give me somewhat of a setup like that. Come on, Tesla. Don't do it. I think they're going to do this without us. If you want to force it, go ahead, but I'm not. I have to see this bounce again. If you are going to force this, you need to be taking profit right on the break. I think there's a big chance that this breaks through and you have that crazy bounce back up. So ideally, we can get back up into this area here. 251.50, 252 again, and I'll probably start taking a starter up in there. Nice. It looks like they're just going to break this without us. This thing cannot get a real bounce here. The market's trying to bounce right now. If I can get 251.50 again, I'm going to take a starter. I can't be buying in after a $4 move down to 250, a support like this. So I'll just kind of talk this through. This is where you're going to see buyers try to come in and bounce this. So I want to see it get up there again. But you got to have your finger on the trigger here. We get another pop like this, we need to take advantage of it. They're just going to kill this. There's so much selling pressure. Market's starting to bounce. Get back above 51. There we go. There we go. There we go. Nice. Nice. Okay, I'm going to take a small starter. Really, really small. This is a big bounce spot. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is like the low a day. But I think with the amount of selling pressure we're seeing on this, this could be a really nice trade. So I'm filled at 610. Really, really small size. Back above the low a day, 252, I'd be out. Other than that, I'm just going to wait for this to break 250. I'm selling on the break at 250. I'm not looking for another big move down. Already up 5%. Already up almost 10% here. Low a day, 250.30. Look at that. Beautiful. Come on, breakthrough. We're at 250.50, 250.40, 250.33. Broke through. Watch this. I'm selling on the break. 1 cent off. Ooh, we got close. We got close. Market's rolling over here. Got to be patient. Take profits if you want. We're at 650 a contract now. Come on, Tesla. You got to give it to us. Come on, Tesla. Here we go. Starting to trickle back down. 250.50, 250.40, 250.30, 27, 28, 32, 21, 15. Here we go. Selling on the break. 14 cents off, 21 cents, 30 cents, 5 cents, 2 cents. Come on. Boom. I'm out. Who caught that? There we go. That was beautiful. We got great entries up here around 610 a contract. Sold to, I got filled at 699. So that's over 15%. I think this does have more room in it, but I'm taking that. This is not a day where I want to be messing around. 710 a contract, miss out on a little bit here. If they hold it under 250, I think this could really get moving, but I don't care. I'll take that. 15%. Nice, nice, nice. Anyone else? Come on, some of y'all. We got a bunch of people here. Look at that. They just retested 250 and instantly rejected that. Wow. Look at that. 735 a contract now. Probably should have held runners on that, but I didn't care. 610 to 7. 90 points on a $600 contract. All day, baby. Base hits. I think I was maybe read $5 on that. So, I mean, pretty much green the entire time. That just made up for yesterday. Mystery doll, because you're trading shares. You shorted actual stock. I'm trading option contracts. Contracts back to where I sold here, less than where I sold, 670, 660. Yeah, all good, man. Good trade. You held it longer than I did. Wow, yo, what happened with Nvidia? Whoa. Farouk, if you're in calls, I think you're going to be okay, man. I do think that there's a nice upside trade. That doesn't mean you need to like disrespect your whatever stop loss you had in mind, but I think it's on the 4-hour chart. You can see what I'm looking at here. We are starting to break the uptrends. I mean, that's not a great sign. You definitely want to see it hold 125, but back above 135 is kind of where this break this downtrend and goes. We're kind of wedging here. If you're looking at my screen. You don't have a stop loss in mind. Well, that's not where you want to be. Okay. Well, do what you want to do, but don't have an ego in the market. Lord Jelly sneeze. Yeah, I mean that's you got in at the split. So what's your fill price? If you got in at the split, then you probably got in what around 120-ish. So I mean you're up for sure, but I think if you have a 5-year mindset, you don't need to manage it day to day. I'd be more concerned with like the news behind it and stuff like that. That was a quick little trade. I like that. $120. Okay, nice. I closed on 130 in the video. Open the break. Yeah, this is about being stuck in the chop right now. Yeah, that's good. And it looks like it saved you, mate Nor. It's like above 130. That's kind of where you start like, okay, like I'm gonna start watching this. Then if it starts moving correctly, then around 135, you want to see it start going, and then you could trade it, right? There's no reason to always just feel like you need to have a position in the markets because it's been a crazy summer, right? June was unbelievable. We're now halfway through July, so you can tell things are starting to slow up here. And there's just no point in trading it. Wow, look at this, man. Look at Microsoft. Big sell-off day. See, so I mean, I wanted to trade the upside today, but you kind of have to change plans. Wow, Tesla 775 a contract, break and retest to 250. Oh, how crazy to think that we literally made our money for the day in these 3 minutes of time. Bought up in here, sold here. That's it. It's all you need. That's the work day right there. 3 minutes. So I don't know. Amazon 193, 194. Meta still selling off here. Pretty crazy move on some things to the downside. To me, there's just not really any setups that I love. I mean, on days like today when you have things pop early and then the whole market tanks, it's kind of where you want to be playing the lows a day, right? So you play this low, catch that move, right? The same thing for Nvidia, right? You can play this low here, catch that move. So we may have not picked the right one, but we still caught, some of this downside weakness on a stock that was already weak, right? Tesla bounced for 1 minute and then instantly got pulled back and was weak. So that's why I wanted to trade this. It's hard for me to just look at Apple and say, okay, if this comes a low a day, I'll just short it. I mean, yeah, this obviously worked great, but seeing the chart here, I don't know that there's going to be a 3-point move. I rather trade the one of the weaker stocks to begin with. Look at Meta. Oh my God, what's going on? What is going on here? Crazy sell off here. You got to think a lot of people are long right now. A lot of people have been wanting these to keep breaking out, keep making new highs. So you get one day, like, we saw it on Thursday, right after a good CPI news, which kind of, was somewhat expected. Look at this volume here. This is the most volume on Meta since the open here. We're almost we're probably gonna do more volume than it. That was insane. Back to what I was saying though. So like the CPI, that was kind of a sell the news situation. So that's kind of an outlier. But today, this just shows you that if the market rolls over and shows any sort of fear that all the people that are holding stocks like Nvidia, Apple, Tesla, right? Because all the big mega cap names have been going through the roof. All it takes is one little rollover and everyone's scared and they want to sell and get out. So big players will come in and try to be buying some of these dips with stock, right? I'm not doing that with options. It's just not what I want to do. But what do you think Amazon's going to do? I mean, right now it seems like it's just going to keep selling off. Everything seems to be really weak. So I'm not looking to try to jump in front of a moving train, trying to stop it. But today's the beginning of Prime Day, so I mean, I think Amazon isn't selling off as hard as something like Nvidia or Meta or Microsoft, but it's definitely not strong. So yeah, Bezos did not finish selling, as far as I know. Within his sales contract, it has to be at 200 or above. So he still has, I think, like $4 to $3.5 billion left to sell. Got some coin. Nice. Sorry, I was looking at my phone. Hang on. Let's make sure no one. Um, Twitter and YouTube, you guys can ask questions as well, or if you want some tickers to be looked at, I will just throw them in the comments. Coin, yeah. So it looks like coin sold off with Bitcoin. Nice. Everything's selling off today. I don't see any specific news. Yeah, I don't see any specific news here. Lavian, throw a screenshot in here for some people. I'd like to see it. Oh my God, Tesla. 247 here. 850 a contract, man. We're buying those at 6. Oh my God. Where's DJT today? I bet that's like a 30. 37. Wow. The one thing that's actually a bit strong. Oh yeah, that is pretty solid. Wow. Look at this. Tesla just won't stop. 875 a contract. 880. This is a crazy sell-off here. You can't FOMO though, right? You can't just instantly go chase these lows saying that they're gonna continue all day. If you don't, that's where like my rules come into play. I don't really care if this keeps going in a straight line down, right? I'm just gonna have to miss it. If I get my rule is I have to see a bounce. If I can see a real bounce, it takes a couple minutes, and then we can see a low a day, then great, maybe I can trade it. But I'm not going to just be buying at lows thinking this is just going to continue, because over time that's where you're going to lose more money than you're going to make. Nice, Fergie. So, it's kind of the same principle here with 245, right? We come down in here, would like to see it bounce, maybe $2-3. And then if we roll back over, maybe there's a trade there at 245, but the market needs some sort of relief here. Someone's going to come in and start buying this. And that's a big reason why I'm not going to be the guy trying to buy puts at lows, right? You missed the move. If you were positioned for it, okay, great. Honestly, we were. I mean, we had great prices, right? We would have made 50% on this because contracts are at 9. But it's kind of hard to predict a move like this, right? I'm happy with my 15%. That's what I make a living doing, just catching those base hits over and over and over again. See if I can miss something here. But that was pretty good. Thanks, Chris. Take care. Tesla, a little bouncer, 248. It's that's kind of what I was looking for, but I think I'm happy with what I made today. Let's see if there's a wall here, 245. Not really. So, maybe there's a trade here. Do I really want to be the guy to give back profits trying to force another new low after we've dropped 10 points? I mean, really like 14 points from the high a day. That's just, it's not going to be me. Could I make a little bit more money? Sure. Is there any reason to lose money? No. Let the stock do whatever it wants, right? You need to always be in control. Don't feel like don't feel pressured to get into a trade. I think I'm probably done. We're already about 45 minutes into the day. I'll stick around for another 20 minutes to see what's going on. Tell you one thing, I'd sure love being able to trade for an hour and to move on rather than being at a at a desk from open to close. Uh-oh. Cookie's Revenge is in the chat. Nice. What y'all do in stocks chat? SPRC. Cookie, you want to send some more screenshots in there? Look at you. That was awesome. One to 130, 30% move. That's crazy. Man, a video low a day would have been awesome. I feel like someone's hot micing. I don't know who it is. I feel like I keep hearing something. Today, do you trade just regular options or weekly, quarterly too? So I just trade regular options. I typically trade the same, whatever week we're on, I'll trade the same week expiration. Just because I'm not looking to hold these for very long. Typically, I hold it for just a few minutes. Like today, that trade was about 3 minutes in time. So I typically just trade same week expiration. There are rare occasions though where I will swing and I'll buy 2-3 weeks out for just something I would like to catch for a couple days. Right, I'll make sure I have further expiration so I don't get killed on time decay or anything like that. But Kenji, just to answer your question, so yeah, I mean, same week expiration is what I trade 99% of the time. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're good, J-Wag. I don't see you doing anything. But yeah, what a sell-off today. Yeah, yellow stick man. Nvidia rolling back over 125 here. Test a little relief bounce here. I mean, I don't know. This might keep going. Market hasn't really shown any sort of strength. They're about to make new lows on this again. I just, again, we already caught a good trade. I'm not really looking to get greedy on this and lose any profits for today. So do what you want, but I'm going to stay away from everything for now. We're almost an hour into the day, so volume might start slowing up a little bit. Looks like some things are having some relief bounces. Bitcoin's bouncing a little bit here. Let's see what coin's at. Coin bounced a bit. Microsoft won't stop making new lows, though. I can tell you that. I don't know what happened here. What else? Meta kind of stopped. So Microsoft seems to be the weakest one. Yeah, Pookie. I came into the morning with pretty much nothing, and then once the market started kind of picking a direction, found some weakness, nice little trade, and that's about it. I don't really want to go and force trades right now for anyone listening. So I mean, again, we're about an hour in. Typically, summertime is slow, but it's been a kind of a crazy one. So keep that in the back of your mind that that things could kind of come to a halt here. And if if you made some good money last month when things were breaking out and a lot of things were moving, don't give it back. Take it slow. Put that money in your pocket. Protect it. And you know, when the market comes back around again, maybe there's something there. Maybe the market, it's been going straight up, so maybe it's going to come straight down, and maybe there's some more downside trades. But um, since the market's been going pretty much straight up, in the grand scheme of things over the last 2 months, don't be the guy trying to buy every single dip, because at one point it's going to end, and you don't want to be sitting there bag holding, especially options, right? Except when you're wrong. Let the good trades come to you, and you'll be just fine. Nice, Duca. I just finished my coffee. Looks like everything's starting to bounce here a little bit. Testing back into 250 here. So again, right? Could I be forcing buying 245 puts up in here? Yeah. And now I'm $2 underwater, and probably down 10-15%, giving back what I just made. Right. So a lot of trading is just being disciplined enough to just not give your money back. Oh yeah. Take the quality setup, move on. Yeah. Yeah, protecting your money and making money. Anyone can come in here and buy something and make some money, but very few people can actually, trade, make money, and then not just throw it all away thinking that they're a really good trader, right? And thinking every setup looks good. You'll learn it over time, but when you just take it slow, look for the quality setups, and all that is just putting the odds in your favor. That's all it is. Taking quality setups is just find that's where your edge is. If you come in here and just want to throw money around thinking you're going to make it, I can promise you you're not. Yeah. Yeah, 100%, right? There's tons of strategies, right? You can trade the market in a limited amount of ways, right? Whatever works for you, but it all comes down to the same principles of discipline and patience and risk management and all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Amazon's starting to roll back over here. Tesla's retesting 250. Nvidia back at 126. We got about $1.50 bounce on that. Microsoft finally bounced. So the second, like right there, I feel like a lot of people probably felt some FOMO, right? Man, Tesla just went from 250 to 245. This could probably go to 240 today. And the second that you feel FOMO, that's kind of where you need to think like opposite. You need to train yourself to think, okay, this doesn't make sense at all for me to try to short Tesla or buy puts on Tesla when it's already made a $10 move down, right? But so like for me, if I ever feel FOMO, I know that that's probably when I need to be thinking like the opposite way. This is probably where it's going to bounce, because that's where a lot of people get trapped, and then the stock will reverse. Back at back in the trading firm, there's guys in there that trade opposite, right? Some people are trying to catch breakouts, and others are trying to reverse them. So whenever guys are catching breakouts and they're saying, okay, I'm selling here, that's where the guys on the other end are looking to reverse it, right? Because it's all kind of the psychology behind the stock move, right? So you can kind of have indicators off of each other So, a big reason why I want you guys always to be talking here. What do you think? Ask questions, throw tickers at me. If you want to just blindly listen to us here at PB, I mean, we're obviously going to help you. Yeah, exactly. It's just yeah, the impulse, yeah. But if you're just going to blindly listen to us here, I mean, yeah, you may make some money and all that, but are you really going to be able to take your trading to the next level? I don't know, right? Doing your homework, being involved, coming to all the lessons, um, asking questions, working with other traders in here. Back to the trading firm. I mean, they partner you with people, right? Like you're a team, so you have to tell each other, I'm buying here, I'm selling here, come up with trade ideas, contradict each other, stuff like that. That's what's going to make you better. All right, JWAG, take care. And that's why I think it's mandatory to trade with other people. Some people can trade on their own, but a lot of the time, over time, you're not going to be successful unless maybe you've done it for 50 years and you know. Yeah, so I'll be live trading again Thursday. I believe that's a premium one as well. Kind of forget my schedule. I've been gone for so long. Let me go look here. Live trading. I also have a free lesson tonight. Yeah. Oh wait, no, it is free. Free live trading on Thursday. But I do have a free lesson tonight with anyone that wants to join. And then I also have a premium lesson Thursday night. Yeah, 100%. Look what Pookie just said in the chat. It's 100% true. And that doesn't mean be hesitant, right? Be confident in your strategy and think you want to think like a winner, but you also want to think of all the possible outcomes on why you're wrong. Think on the other side of the trade. Well, if I'm looking to short Tesla, well, what would someone trying to go long want, be looking for? Nice, mate, Nor. Get out of here, man. Good job. See you Thursday or tonight if you can make it. Yeah, 100%. Look at trades as business transactions. Sometimes, you're going to have bad business deals, but your job is to always think of all the possible outcomes. And if the pros outweigh the cons, then maybe you take that trade. Yeah, Duck, that's 100% true, right? We all kind of have the same principles intact, just a little bit different styles. And that's what you're going to find, when you put the work in and come to lessons and stuff like that. You're going to figure out what you're good at, and also going through the different coaching programs. Maybe you're a mix of all of us, right? Maybe you can pick up little bits and pieces from every coach, and then kind of create your own style that you're really good at. And that's all we want. 100%. Ask yourself questions every single time. So, like, here on Tesla, for example, like, yeah, maybe I would want to see if this can come down to 245, but why? This has already moved $10. Okay, that's a pretty decent move for Tesla on no news. We're down 1.5%. Market's weak, but okay, things are starting to base out. Why would I want to chase something here to try to pick up a couple bucks when there's a much bigger chance this bounces? So if it bounces, then it rolls over, maybe I trade it there. If it bounces and then doesn't stop bouncing, then I don't get in. Right. So I'd rather be a little bit late to the party, but be at a good party than be early to a bad party. You know what I mean? Don't try to predict every single move. Sometimes it's best to kind of wait until that move is, confirmed, and then you can catch the middle part of that trade, right? That's the safest part. You don't want to be the guy picking tops and bottoms. You want to be trying to catch the middle part of the move. So it's like, just like here on Tesla, right? Could I have tried to short it up in here and made some money? Sure. But I'm also, or, maybe even up in here, right? But that's kind of picking a top. So what I did was I simply just figured out, okay, so Tesla's one of the weakest ones here. The market's getting weak, and I caught the middle part of the move. So I caught this here. Yes, I missed out on this, and yes, I missed out a little bit on this, but I caught a very safe part of the move on Tesla, and I made my money, and I move on. That's it. Very, very simple. I'm not looking for crazy moves. I'm looking for those base hits, and I take what the market gives me. All right, I'm never going to be like, okay, like I'm targeting 245.80, right? I mean, you're never going to do that. And this is the reason why I won't short into something that's already made a move, because the chance of a bounce is much higher than the chance of it continuing. Could it continue? Sure, but I'm okay with missing out on it, right? Because there's no reason to break my rules. Anytime I want to play something to the downside, I want to see it bounce first and then roll over. That proves to me sellers are still there. There's still selling pressure, people wanting this to go down, and then I can capture that. But I'll stop ranting. But if you guys have any last minute questions, go ahead. But we're about an hour in here. It looks like things are starting to slow up a little bit. So I'll probably head out of here in 5-10 minutes. So any other tickers, any other trade ideas, any trades that you took that you want me to go over with you, more than happy to do that. Tesla's starting to roll over here, kind of ahead of the market. Came up to 250, tested that, instantly rejected. Here we are, 247.5. Yes, 100%. So let's see what happens here. Tesla ends up making a higher low here, right? We had our test at 250. We rolled over. We're instantly starting to bounce again. To me, this kind of confirms a higher low, which then confirms an uptrend. Look at that, right? You want to try to be shorting into this, and then you get caught. You get blown out of the water. A lot of people wanting to go short here. Anytime, whether it's upside or downside, and you can tell there's a lot of conviction to one side. If there's a reversal, the people on that other side have to get out of the way. And that's where you typically get kind of a violent move to the opposite side. Walgreens, let's look at that. It's been getting crushed. This happened a little while ago on earnings when they announced they're closing a ton of their stores. Starting to kind of get back up here, but is it something I'm really interested in now? Probably not. I think over time, this could, maybe even get down to 6, 7, 8, maybe even $5. It's not something I'm trying to buy up. That news is extremely bad for Walgreens for the long term, but there is a gap up in here that maybe there's a trade. But nothing I'm looking at right now. We're in the middle of this range. So if it comes down to this 1070 level, maybe look for a downside trade. If we get up to like 12.5, 1275, maybe there's an upside trade. Other than that, I don't care what it does. What do you think Amazon will hit after Prime Day? Well, typically Amazon has like a 5% move. I think it's like 5 to 8% up into Prime Day. So we did kind of see this breakout and push up, and then Jeff Bezos kind of just like put his foot down, wanting to sell $5 billion. And we were just sitting at 200, right? He was selling and selling and selling and selling. It's kind of why we couldn't break out. And then we had the huge market sell off after CPI, which pulled this down to 195. and we've kind of gone flat from there. So after Prime Day, I mean, I would think this maybe can go up, but if the overall market is selling off, this is just going to stay weak. Jeff Bezos still needs to sell, I think, around $3.5 billion worth of shares up at 200. So, I mean, at one point, I think it gets back to 200. I don't know when. So just keep, to me, it's like, Guze, I would just keep Prime Day in the back of your mind. I'm not looking to swing this. I'm not looking for anything. Back above 196.5 after Prime Day, maybe is good, but maybe you could look at Prime Day as kind of a sell the news situation, right? Whenever Prime Day comes out, it's already over, and then maybe this ends up selling back off down to 190. So I don't really know. Nobody knows anything, and that's like one of the most important things about trading is you don't know anything. Your job is to trade what's in front of you. You can think of things, you can kind of predict things, you can have some sort of thesis on what you think could happen, but nobody knows where a stock's going to go from 1 second to the next. So my guess would be upside, but I could see it going both ways. So I'm not looking to trade that for now. But seems like some people are starting to get out of here, guys. So if there's any other questions, throw them in here. If not, then I'm going to head out. Pretty good morning. One small little trade. Not mad at it. Nothing too crazy. Picked up a couple bucks. We'll get out of here. Right? That's the power of trading. You get done in an hour, and your work day's over, and you can spend the rest of your day doing whatever you want. But again, I got a lesson tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's free, so anyone can show up. I would love to see you there. And it's very casual, kind of more of a Q&A type thing. I'll go over some charts. I'll go over any topics you guys ask me about. But there is no set plan for that, no set topic. So it's really for you to ask your questions. Where's the lesson? Thanks, Lord. The lesson's going to be located right here in the free live stream chat. So right where you are right now, Legendary Sets. Thank you, man. I try to do my best. I know how I would have liked to be taught early on, and but I would take any criticism if there is any ever. I want to be the best that I can for y'all. If you guys made some money, throw it in the profit chat, tag me. Yeah, go watch the free education stuff. Go look at all the free content we have here, and I'll see you tonight. So maybe, write things down, write questions you want me to go over, and I'd be happy to do that. I only do it once a week, so you only get one free lesson a week with me, so make it count. Yeah, yesterday's loss sucked, but it's part of it. I made up for it today, so I'm back to green on the week. Just red trades happen. As long as you're sized the right way, they shouldn't affect you because it's inevitable. You're gonna take losses at one point. All right, guys. Well, if that's it, then I'm gonna head out of here. I'll wait for one more minute. 100%, Duco. 100%. All right. Well, I'm not seeing anyone else type in here. So YouTube and Twitter, thanks for listening, guys, in Discord. It's always a pleasure. Thank you. And I'll see you tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Later.